Key point 1. When passion meets effort. Have you ever been so immersed in an activity that you lost track of time? It turns out there's a scientific explanation. That feeling when the world seems mute while you're working is called flow, or the zone. If you're unfamiliar with the concept, you might dismiss flow as a flight of fancy or pseudoscientific mumbo-jumbo. But the reality couldn't be further from it. Scientists wholeheartedly validate this remarkable state. Our brain has its own Avengers team: dopamine, norepinephrine, endorphins, anandamida, and serotonin. They each play distinct roles, ranging from cheering us on to providing a natural high. This potent cocktail propels us into the zone, the same mental space where Taylor Swift writes her songs and Stephen King conjures up his next bestseller. Flow can turn ordinary into extraordinary. What if into voila? Unfortunately, there's no magic door leading straight into the zone. Flow requires grit, focus, and a sense of command over your craft. It's more a thrilling expedition than a final stop, and like any adventure, it can be challenging but oh so rewarding. Strive for progress, not perfection. The zone is a serene sanctuary, a hush among the hustle. It sticks a superhero cape on your shoulders and sprinkles your life with brilliance, joy, and satisfaction. So stand by to learn more about flow. Whether you're an artist struggling with a blank canvas, a coder wrestling with a stubborn algorithm, or someone seeking a more fulfilling life, it might just be the magic you've been looking for. Warning: this summary will make you unstoppable. Do not proceed if comfort zones are your favorite hangouts. Key point 2. A child prisoner made a discovery. The mastermind behind the concept of flow is the ingenious Hungarian-American psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi. Since he recognized the zone and coined the term, fellow scientists fondly called him the father of flow. Born in a war-torn Italy and sent to an Italian prison camp as a child, Csikszentmihalyi found solace in playing chess. As the chessboard became his fortress, Mihaly realized something remarkable. He'd plunge into deep focus and joy with every strategic move, momentarily escaping his grim reality. It puzzled him why adults rarely found such blissful refuge in adversity. In tough times, a hobby or passion can become a lifeline. This profound revelation sparked his lifelong quest to discover the keys to a joyful life. His fascination with moments of deep satisfaction and meaning urged him to study happiness in a whole new way. He interviewed people from diverse backgrounds and cultures, from daring rock climbers to hard-working farmers, and discovered a fascinating common thread. Regardless of their pursuits, people experienced euphoria and fulfillment when absorbed in their craft. In simple words, if life were a comic book, flow would be your superpower. Even Mondays can't steal your joy when you love what you do. It turned out that the zone wasn't just a psychological state, but an answer to the age-old question of what gives life purpose. Csikszentmihalyi's discovery had a seismic impact on multiple domains, from business to creativity. The zone started reshaping scientific fields and our ideas about human potential. Major companies like Toyota, Ericsson, and Microsoft caught on to the power of flow and incorporated it into their strategies and work cultures. Notably, the sports world also took notice and embraced flow as a tool. It's safe to say that every Olympic gold medal and world championship win has a bit of being in the zone behind it. Moreover, in extreme sports, entering the zone is necessary for survival. Amid the roaring waves, rugged mountains, and fast-flowing rivers, where every error could be fatal, athletes found the flow to be their trustworthy ally. In this highly focused mental state, they can trust their bodies to make the right movements at the right time. Once you find an activity that draws you into the zone easily, your life will gain an extra sprinkle of joy. Key point 3. Dancing with danger. One chilly fall morning, Dean Potter, the legend of extreme sports, awoke to a thought that completely consumed his mind. He set his heart on conquering Mount Fitzroy, a daunting giant in the heart of Patagonia in South America. The mountain, notorious for its razor-sharp cliffs, fickle weather, and treacherous isolation, was a formidable opponent. An overwhelming beast for many, but for Potter, it was an exhilarating challenge. Every climb begins with a single step. Potter wasn't your run-of-the-mill daredevil. He was a free soloist, an audacious breed of climbers who scaled daunting heights without ropes or other safety gear. While danger lurked at every crevice, the reward for him was a connection with nature so profound it was intoxicating. Dean would slip into the zone every time he set his hands on the cold, unyielding rock. Time and space lost their grip, and his moves were fluid and effortless. His mind, usually a cyclone of thoughts, was eerily calm. He felt like some parts of his brain took a hiatus, while others jumped into the driver's seat. It wasn't merely his perception. Science confirms this phenomenon. Some brain areas responsible for self-awareness and impulse control go quiet during a flow state. This tranquility helps high performers like Potter push self-doubt aside and reach their peak. Plus, as a bonus, the brain releases natural painkillers. How can we reach the zone? Specific external factors act as catalysts. Risk and danger, for instance, can sharpen our focus and nudge us to perform at our best. The adrenaline rush triggers norepinephrine and dopamine release, thus priming us for challenges. Interestingly, it's not just physical threats. Mental, social, or creative risks count too. Ever notice how a looming deadline can miraculously turn you into a productivity guru? Environments rich in novelty, unpredictability, and complexity can also launch us into the zone. It's the awe we experience when gazing at a vast canyon or studying the fine details of a tiny dewdrop. Lastly, cultivating a keen awareness of our senses can help us tap into a flow state. Activities that promote mindfulness, like yoga or martial arts, work wonders in this regard. By using these triggers strategically, you will crack the code, and once you find your keys to the zone, you'll dig out your unseen talents and improve beyond belief. Key point 4. You can conquer the sky, even if you're afraid of heights. As skydiver Mike Swanson stood on the roof of the Willis Tower, a surge of anxiety washed over him. He profoundly feared heights, and the mere sight of the 1,451-foot-high skyscraper made his palms sweat. But he was about to do something unprecedented: plunge into the sky, maneuvering his way through the city with nothing but a wingsuit, a feat that nobody before had dared to attempt. Flow is the telephone booth where Clark Kent changes clothes, the place where Superman emerges. Steven Kotler. Wingsuit flying, the art of gliding through the air like a bird, boasts a long and deadly history. Over the centuries, countless people strapped on homemade wings and threw themselves off tall structures, often with fatal outcomes. But in the late 1990s, technology strides gave this activity a safer facelift, attracting daredevils and adrenaline junkies worldwide. Before long, wingsuit flying caught the eye of Hollywood. American film director Michael Bay, captivated by the thrilling sport, wanted to incorporate it into his blockbuster film, Transformers: Dark of the Moon. He recruited a crew of wingsuit flyers, including Mike Swanson, to help choreograph a breathtaking scene. Before attempting the daring jump, the team undertook rigorous training in Switzerland. They focused on anticipating each other's moves. This concept, just like flow, has nothing to do with physics and everything to do with science. The neocortex, the brain's powerhouse for higher-order functions, predicts future events based on sensory input. Successful predictions trigger dopamine release, thereby fine-tuning future anticipations. Athletes need this skill for split-second decision-making when danger is breathing down their necks. Swanson and the team tried hard to predict each other's moves during the flight. For instance, Swanson monitored his colleague's left shoe for telltale signs that hinted at upcoming maneuvers. His brain decoded these patterns, sparking his reactions. This synchrony enabled the crew to navigate the daunting urban landscape in a collective flow state. The power of a team is in its unity. Group flow, the collective version of individual flow, is a powerful state that emerges within a group with shared goals and laser focus. Psychology professor Keith Sawyer discovered this phenomenon while studying high-performance groups engaged in improvisation. He found that group flow magnifies creativity, performance, and cooperation. It is a state where the whole becomes greater than the sum of its parts. Key point 5. Making history while having fun. Exploration of flow and its potential to amplify performance often overlooks one key aspect: long-term mastery. Picture a skier defying gravity, cascading down a mountain, not just as a one-hit wonder, but consistently. Meet Shane McConkey, the legendary athlete who redefined what it meant to be a professional. As children, we are taught not to play with fire, not how to play with fire. Steven Kotler. McConkey scoffed at traditional training methods, viewing them as tedious and uninspiring. Instead, he chose a path sprinkled with function and innovation. Shane McConkey's skiing style embodied being in the zone and surrendering to the moment. Each slope was a new experience. Each jump was a new story. His infectious passion for the sport inspired many to rethink their approach to training and mastery. Shane decided to skip the beaten path of endless training and patience. Instead, he took a detour and gamified his practice. His example prompts a profound question. Are we missing the secret to becoming our best selves? Could the answer lie in ditching the rulebook and embracing our wild side? Joy isn't the opposite of work, but is the most potent fuel. But how can we navigate this uncharted territory of self-improvement? Enter the intriguing realm of time perspectives, the brainchild of psychologist Philip Zimbardo. He identified two types of people according to their outlooks on life: the fun-loving, spontaneous, present hedonists, and the focused, forward-thinking, future-oriented people. The real magic happens when these two worlds collide, combining the present's zest with a vision for the future. And guess what connects these worlds? Flow. It's like the secret ingredient that adds a breath of fresh air to the lives of present hedonists and a dash of spice to the disciplined routines of future-oriented people. As the ultimate adventurer, Shane McConkey was a master chef when blending these two aspects. As a result, he turned dangerous mountains into playgrounds. When you have no motivation, find something you like about the task at hand. McConkey's life and legacy serve as a compelling reminder that mastery is not just about reaching the top, but about enjoying the ride, cherishing every stumble, every slide, and every leap of faith. Key point 6. Underwater Wonder Woman. Mandy Ray Cruikshank, a once shy girl from the suburbs of Alberta, Canada, never imagined herself becoming a superhero. She was a dreamer who loved the water, but her fears seemed stronger than her dreams. Little did she know that destiny had a surprise up its sleeve. Her passion for the ocean led her to open a scuba shop in Vancouver, where she stumbled upon the ancient sport of free diving. It involves diving deep underwater without oxygen tanks, solely relying on bodily instincts. Mandy Ray found her sanctuary beneath the waves in a world filled with distractions and constant demands for our attention. Passion may light the way, but hard work clears the path. Fast forward to 18 months later, and the shy, fearful girl had transformed into a world record holder in freediving. What seemed impossible was now her reality, all thanks to an unyielding dedication. Her journey is a testament to the power of living in the present moment. In freediving, you can't afford to lose focus. A lapse in attention can lead to serious trouble. This ability to be fully present in the now is a key element of flow states. Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, the one who discovered flow, identified 3 integral triggers for being in the now and thus reaching the zone. Clear goals provide a sense of purpose and keep your attention glued to the present moment. Immediate feedback allows you to adjust your actions on the fly, thus keeping you engaged. The right mix of challenge and skill keeps things exciting but not overwhelming. For Mandy Ray, these triggers worked like a charm. She broke down her dives into bite-sized pieces, each with a clear goal. She listened to her body's responses, adjusting her practice as needed. And the challenges kept her hooked, constantly pushing her to stretch her limits. Imagine applying these triggers to your everyday tasks to summon your superpowers. Limitations only exist if you let them. Did you know, in 2005, skateboarder Danny Way stepped onto his skateboard and jumped over the Great Wall of China. Despite his injured ankles and knees protesting in rebellion, he shattered not one, but 2 world records. Key point 7. The future of superpowers. Everyone can be a superhero. That's the exciting reality Flow uncovers. Yet, it's not all sunshine and roses. Before we start putting on masks and flying around, there are some ethical questions to consider. Could people misuse Flow for selfish gains? Could corporations, or worse, governments, manipulate this potent state? And let's spare a thought for extreme sports enthusiasts flirting with danger and death. With great power comes great responsibility. Like any monumental discovery, the zone is morally neutral, and it's our job to use it wisely. Privilege and duty always walk hand in hand. Flow hacking technologies are revolutionizing the way we understand greatness. Advancements in science now empower us to track flow states in real time. Long gone are the days of relying on stopwatches to understand the zone. Functional magnetic resonance imaging, or fMRI, for instance, offers a fascinating peek into the psychological aspect of flow. It helps us map brain activity and track cellular energy levels while ordinary humans do extraordinary things. On top of that, wearable devices and smartphone apps have birthed the era of conscious self-improvement. People can now keep tabs on various biometrics to pinpoint and hone their flow state. From tracking heart rate coherence to calculating the speed of runs and swims, these tools are pivotal in turning talents into geniuses. At the Flow Genome Project, they establish unique labs known as Flow Dojos. These research institutes simulate high-risk conditions that trigger the zone. As a result, anyone can safely experience pinnacle levels of performance and inspiration. Imagine a future where these facilities are as commonplace as gyms, where we routinely exercise our bodies, brains, and minds. The fusion of technology and neuroscience is propelling us into a place where optimal performance becomes the norm rather than the exception. As technology advances and our grasp of flow deepens, we are about to harness the full potential of the human mind. The future brims with limitless potential, and with every new revelation, we reshape the boundaries of human capabilities. We've only just begun to scratch the surface of the zone. Still, as we move forward, let's be mindful about the superpowers we possess. Conclusion. Flow isn't just a means to hit personal peaks or shatter records. We have a chance to sculpt a better, more sustainable world. How do we cultivate a culture of flow? It starts by fostering an environment that promotes curiosity, openness, and continuous learning. When we allow ourselves and others to explore our passions and interests, we can empower each other like never before. Secondly, we must provide the tools and resources that fuel flow. This means investing in education, research and development, and creating opportunities for people to collaborate across disciplines. Finally, we must embrace failure as a necessary component of progress. In flow, we're willing to take risks, step out of our comfort zones, and learn from our mistakes. By shifting our perception of failure from something to avoid to a crucial part of success, we give ourselves the freedom to innovate and push the boundaries of what's possible. Now, more than ever, we need this wellspring of potential to navigate the challenges of the 21st century. Let's become the superheroes our world needs, because the future isn't something that happens to us. It's something we create. Try this. To get a taste of flow, immerse yourself in activities that bring you joy while challenging you. For instance, you can try strumming a tune on your guitar or dive into your favorite sport. To hack the zone, keep a journal and reflect on your flow experiences. Track patterns or triggers that lead to these optimal states. Consider practicing deep work techniques such as Pomodoro or time blocking. This way, you can set the stage for focused, undisturbed work intervals, paving the way for flow.